Welcome in everyone to another episode of the CORECAST. I am your host, Mike Carlson, and today I am joined by BU defenseman, Cade Weber. Cade, thanks for coming on the show, man.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Anytime. So let's start from the beginning. What did you have an affinity for hockey? Was there any other sports that you played growing up? What kind of kid were you like growing up? Let's just start from the beginning.
Yeah, funny story. The first time I actually got on skates, my dad took me to free skate when I was
Okay.
about 2 years old. And I put on the skates and I stepped foot on the ice and I just sat right down and started crying. So he didn't think hockey was going to be my sport, but the next week he took me back, and every time I went back, it would get better and better. But as a kid, obviously, I was quiet, liked to keep to myself, hardworking, tried to do well in school. I was kind of raised. School was important before sports. Also, I played baseball, obviously, when I was younger. Played volleyball. My mom went to Clemson for volleyball, so she kind of introduced that to me, and played that all the way until ninth grade, until I moved to Boston. Played baseball until my senior year, and I just like to golf on the side as well. So I was very active when I was a kid, but hockey kind of stuck out as the main sport growing up.
Wow. Well, it sounds like you did a lot as a kid growing up. And, as I was doing some research to prep for the show, yeah, I think you were selling yourself a little short on baseball there. You were an incredibly talented baseball player. I heard from a former coach that you hit over 400 your senior year while playing shortstop, right?
Yeah. It's kind of funny. I was a catcher growing up, but obviously I grew pretty tall, up to 6'6" now. So I kind of wanted to take a load off the knees a little bit there. And we had a opening at shortstop. And I said, I was the captain at the time, so I wanted to step up for the team. So I took that spot and kind of just ran with it. And I guess I was just getting lucky. I wasn't thinking too much. It was because after a long hockey season, it was kind of a fun sport and not to think about it too much. And I just went up and just tried to put the bat on the ball, and things were happening for me. But yeah, we had a great year, and it was a lot of fun.
Well, it sounds like a lot of good things were happening. I mean, it's a lot of talent that goes in, I think, hitting anything over 300 and then you're over 400. I mean, you're not just putting the bat on the ball and praying. I mean, you're hitting some pretty hard baseballs there.
Yeah. I guess baseball was a big sport growing up, and I used to play summer ball. So my grandfather is a huge baseball fan, so I wanted to play for him my senior year. He was at every game, and I guess, yeah, I don't know. I guess when I was younger, I put in a lot of work, and it kind of paid off. A lot of people didn't think I was going to be as good as I was at baseball, but I think I kind of showed it that year. But it was credit to my teammates, the coaches. They all believed in me and gave me the shot. So, yeah, I just took advantage of that opportunity.
Awesome. Well, I'm interested in talking. We've talked to a couple of athletes who have played a lot of different sports growing up, and how that helped them at the next level. I mean, did you find that playing baseball, and then you mentioned volleyball, did you feel like that made you a better hockey player, or did you see there was a crossover between all those different sports?
Yeah, for sure. I'm a big advocate for playing multiple sports as a kid. I mean, I've seen tons of situations where kids at a young age, or even growing into 10, 11, and 12, they're a superstar athlete at like one sport. So say baseball, and they kind of quit everything else, and 2 years down the road, they're burnt out because that's all they're playing. I think it's good to get a break, and playing different sports, you're working different muscles, you're doing different things. And I think that all helps go back to your main sport. I mean, it's hockey. Just playing hockey is not gonna get it done. I mean, you got to work on other things, other sports, make you stronger, make you better. It teaches you different things. Obviously, going through another sport and learning different things mentally, I mean, you can take it back into your main sport. So yeah, I think playing multiple sports is a huge thing if you want to be a serious athlete, and if you want to better your performance in your main sport.
I couldn't agree more. And like I said, that's been a thread we've seen,
Yeah.
throughout. We talked to a guy a couple weeks back who he played basketball and was a pitcher, and he found that, my footwork on the mound, really being balanced, staying upright is something that's going to help. It helped from basketball. He's like, but then it went back into basketball as well. And it made me a better basketball player. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, I guess in volleyball and I guess jumping, and you got to be quick and always the footwork as well. And then in hockey, I'm a big defenseman, so my footwork is kind of key when trying to defend smaller guys. So I guess taking it from different sports definitely really helped and definitely developed my game.
Yeah. So what made you gravitate to hockey? I mean, obviously, like you said, you played a lot of different sports, but what made you gravitate towards hockey over all the other kind of different things you were exposed to?
I guess there was a big year. I was about 14. It was the first year of USA Select hockey camps in the summer, and had to try out in the spring. I was fortunate enough to make it to the camp, and that's when colleges started to recruit. It was crazy how young it is now, but I kind of just skyrocketed from there, and I started hearing from colleges at a young age, and that's when I was like, wow, this is something serious, and I think I can do something with this. But I was obviously still playing baseball at a high level back then, but I think that moment is what really kickstart my hockey career and kind of put it in perspective that I could do something with this.
Nice. And were you always a defenseman? Was that something like, I hear stories from people who are like, well, I was a point guard, and youth league growing up, that's where they put me. So that's what I was. Was it something, did you start there? Did you start at another position and move to that? Or tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I actually started out as a forward.
Okay.
And one of my coaches said, I mean, you can skate well for your size. Let's try to put you back on defense. And I mean, you still can skate the puck, you can rush the puck, but also with your size, you can defend kids. And I think, yeah, from that one game, I kind of just took off and stuck with it, and it's gotten me this far. And I'm thankful that I made that switch. It's benefited me a ton.
Totally. I would say it's benefited you a ton.
Yeah.
And it's a great kind of segue into this next part. You were drafted by the Carolina Hurricanes. Obviously, I'll skip the cliche softball question of what was it like to get drafted, because I'd imagine it's pretty great.
Yeah.
But take me kind of into that time with you. I mean, I'm assuming, like I said, it's all the cliches. It's awesome. It's really it's a lot of fun. But is there any particular moment from that night that really stands out to you? Any particular story, moment? It can really be anything.
Yeah, I mean, from the beginning of the year, it was hard. I'm not going to lie. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of pressure on you, and to have the season over and just to have that night with your family, it just kind of, you relax and it all sinks in, because going through the year, it just happens so fast, and you don't really get to sit back and think about it and realize that you're in this moment. But after hearing your name called and just sitting with your family, you're like, wow, this is actually happening. I've been working for this for my whole life. And my parents were there. So yeah, we actually, after I got drafted, we had to hurry to the airport, because flights were crazy expensive then. So we only got to stay there for about an hour, and then we had to jet back home. But when I got home, I celebrated with my family and friends, and yeah, it was just a special time.
Totally. It's a well-deserved special time as well, because definitely have put in the work to get to that point.
Yeah. It just doesn't come to you. You got to work. I mean, kids have talent, and they don't realize that you still have to work, because kids who work harder and maybe not be as better or not as good as them at that time, they're going to catch up to them. And that's kind of the biggest lesson I've learned is some guys might be better than others, but those guys that aren't as good put in the work, and when everything's said and done, they have a better career in that sport. So yeah, hard work is very key.
And take me into that work a little bit, because obviously, on this podcast, we talk a lot about, athletic training, sports performance, and what allows people who, quite frankly, perform their job at an incredibly high level. What goes into that? So take me into that hard work. How has it changed? How has it evolved? What's your process like every day?
Yeah. So this summer I work out 4 days a week, and then on Wednesday you kind of go in and just do some mobility stuff, and Saturdays you can go in to get get some extra stuff. So I do workouts at 10:30, and then I'm doing physical therapy right now at 9:30 before workouts, and then skating after workouts. So it's kind of it's a long day because, and also with meals and stuff, you can't be eating stuff that's not healthy for you. So you have to get up early in the morning, cook a good healthy breakfast, kind of pack some lunches with healthy foods. So it's like a day job, and I've been ripped on by my parents for not working, but I tell them this is my job right now because I'm putting all the time and effort. When I get home, I'm tired. I want to go to bed, but it's just on repeat every day. So yeah, it's a lot of work and a lot of effort, but hopefully it'll pay off.
Right. I think, you put in the work, and I automatically think it will. That's part of putting in the work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's putting in, it's tough. I mean, last year for the combine, I played baseball in the spring, so I didn't get to go to my gym was about 40 minutes from school. So after baseball practice, I would have to grab something to eat and then go work out at 8 o'clock and stay until 10 o'clock every night. And then I still had homework on top of that. So I thought it was going to be less stressful after hockey season, but the days just got more packed. But yeah, after that whole experience, I wouldn't change anything. I learned a lot through it, and it was a good moment.
Well, what kept you locked in through that whole period? Was there anything you were telling yourself, or because it's like you said, it's a grueling schedule. I mean, you're playing baseball at a high level, you're leaving, and now having to go prepare for, training for an entirely different sport at a high level. What were you telling yourself to keep going? Where were you finding that strength?
Yeah. Some days it was tough. It was tough to get in that car and be like, I can't go home. I got to go to the gym. But I just kind of think to my goals and what I've been doing my whole life. And one little thing and not working hard here can really impact your goal down the road, and you could maybe not achieve it because of that stuff. So I just really try to motivate myself that way. And it's helped so far. And I think just thinking about your goals and what you really want to accomplish, it just, something else just kicks in and you find that energy.
Totally. No, I couldn't agree more. I think it's a really cool insight into what that's like.
Yeah. I'll probably find other ways down the road. But honestly, it's a passion too. I love to do it. If you don't love it, then I don't think it's the right sport for you. So I would do anything for it, anything it takes to make a career out of it. Then I'm going to try to find ways to do that. And hopefully we'll see down the road if everything goes well, then that would be awesome.
For sure. Well, I want to kind of move back to like post draft. So you do that, and then you headed off to training camp, right? Or you went to train. I don't know if it was right after the draft, but you did go to training camp. What's that like? I mean, now you're playing the sport you love at an incredibly high level, and you get to go to training camp and be with a bunch of really awesome, like-minded individuals who are all playing hockey together. So take me inside that.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, I said I went home for a couple of days, and then I had to get on another plane to go down to training camp, and it was just eye-opening. I mean, just being around some of the top players in your sport, around the head coach of the Hurricanes, the strength coach, it's a different level, and it's not a coincidence that these players are playing in the National Hockey League. You can see that they work hard at everything they do. It is a whole nother level from training. But after going to that camp, I tried to incorporate that into my training, just the mindset. And we had the combine a couple of weeks before the draft. So after that, I kind of took it off. But when we went to training camp, they had another set of fitness tests, and the coach was doing a fan bike, and he ran it two times for a minute straight, and he tried to do the third one, and he's like, no, if I can't do this, no way they can. But the 2 times, they were tough. It was tough, but it just shows you that you have to be in very good shape, and you have to want to be good and want to put in that work. And playing in front of the fans the last day, I think 10,000 fans went to the game. It was we were just playing 3-on-3, but it was a special feeling just to, usually don't want to look in the crowd, but you were just tempted just to take a peek around and be like, wow, this is real life right now. So yeah, it was just an awesome experience.
And was there any moment that you kind of you get to training camp and you think to yourself like, oh my goodness, like I'm here? Is there any kind of moment or story where you have that realization, or where you just like, I'm going to show up, I'm going to do my job, I'm going to do it incredibly well, and I'm just going to learn as much as I can?
Yeah, obviously, I want to say that I was locked in the whole time and wasn't flattered or anything like that. But I think just walking into the locker room and having your name played on one of the stalls with some Carolina equipment was the moment where it just kind of really sunk in, and it's like, wow, this is crazy. This is happening. And after that, I mean, obviously you're nervous. It's a new environment, but you just try to learn from guys higher than you and just try to soak everything in as best as you can in that short period of time. And I definitely took a lot of lessons from that and tried to incorporate it into my everyday life, and including hockey.
For sure. So now I want to pivot to something interesting, and it's, it's been something that we've talked to a lot of people about, but it's training, in a time of, COVID and a lot of other stuff. So what has changed with your training regimen? Has it been different? Have you had more access to the ice, less access to the ice? Because it's different for every athlete. So what's it been like for you to not only, stay in shape, stay in a shape where you can perform at a really high level, but also, kind of deal with and maneuver around everything that's going on as well?
Yeah. I wasn't able to get in the gym for a while. So I just had my strength coach send me workouts online, and my dad works at a college, so he tried to steal some weights from there, and I bought some bands and got a bike and set up a bike. I just tried to use the equipment to the best of my ability, and during that time, I think I didn't lose strength. I think I maintained and actually gained some, which was awesome. And skating, the rinks just opened up about 3 weeks ago. Which was tough, but usually I like to take a little bit of time off during the summer. So I got that time during quarantine, which was nice. And the gym finally opened up for small groups. So I'm kind of back to a normal schedule, but yeah, it was definitely difficult and different at times. Just working out in your basement by yourself, it does get challenging to find that motivation again. But you call teammates, guys, you Zoom and you work out together just to find that energy from each other. But yeah, it's definitely good to be back in a gym with full equipment.
For sure. And what was that first skate like? I mean, the rink opens up. I'm assuming it felt really good. Really is what I'm trying to say.
Oh yeah. It was awesome. I just had to get the feet back from under me. I almost forgot how to skate there for a little bit, but it comes back after a little bit. The legs are obviously tired after skating for like 10 minutes, but yeah, it was awesome just to put the skates back on and get out there with some buddies and just play the sport that I love.
Totally. And now you have a whole season to look forward to with BU, right? Which, and again, a lot of the research, school you've always dreamed about going to.
Yeah.
I mean, are you just incredibly fired up to get on campus and get to playing some hockey?
Yeah. It's been a while. I mean, the NHL hasn't been playing, so I haven't been able to watch or play. So to get there, and I move in end of August. So just to start practicing is going to be awesome. It's everything that I've looked forward to, and hopefully we'll get fans in the crowd, and hopefully the Beanpot's a big tournament out here, and we play at the Garden. So hopefully fans will be allowed, but if not, I'm still going to find that energy just because it's a sport. And I've always wanted to play at BU, so I'm looking forward to that experience.
And is there anything in particular you're looking forward to the most? I know the Beanpot, I mean, being able to play at the Garden, like I don't know if it gets better than that, but is there anything that you're looking forward to, playing at BU and really just to playing, hockey again?
Yeah. I think just being with a great group of guys. I'm looking forward to meeting the team and going on a journey with them and developing with them, and hopefully the results will come. My goal is obviously a national championship, and actually it's in Pittsburgh this year, I believe. So that's where I spent most of my childhood. So hopefully, if everything goes well, I'll be able to play back home in the final Frozen Four, which would be awesome.
That would be, yeah. I mean, that would be. You talk about an excellent homecoming. I mean, that would definitely definitely be it to return to Pittsburgh for that.
Yeah, that would be sweet. Definitely get a lot of people to the game, but got a long way to go, and obviously it starts at day one. But I'm counting down the days to get on campus and get to work.
That's exciting, man. I mean, shoot, we're all going to be rooting for you, obviously.
Thank you.
So we're gonna want to see you there as well. Maybe have you on the podcast too at that point before the Frozen Four. No, we don't want to distract you too bad. But this is, for me at least, this has just been incredibly enlightening. I think to all of the listeners it is too, because it takes a lot to play at the next level. And obviously we see, you hear stories of the Michael Jordans of the world, all the work that goes in. Is there anything that people don't necessarily see that you found has been incredibly helpful, or is it just sheer force of will, like this is my goal and I'm gonna go after it, or is there something else that people normally don't see, that really helps to contribute to have you play at the next level and just to excel at your sport?
Yeah, obviously working hard is a key factor, but I think mentally you have to have confidence. I mean, you don't want to be too cocky or stuff like that, but you just want to believe in yourself, because once you get down on yourself, that's when things just start going downhill. You got to think you can do stuff and believe you can do stuff, and you'll be able to do that. I mean, mistakes happen. You got to learn from them, but you can't dwell on them and just keep thinking about them. You just got to learn from them, get better, and believe you can do that stuff. I think mentally, between the years is huge in becoming a high level athlete and going to the next level. You just have to have the right mindset, which sometimes people can't see that. But usually when guys are going through slumps or stuff like that, they're negative on themselves. But once they start to get more positive, things start happening for them again. So yeah, I think mentally you just got to be positive, confident with yourself, and just believe that you can do it.
Awesome. Well, got a kind of one final thing before we wrap up here, and it's kind of a rapid fire segment. It's rapid fire in the sense that the questions were a little more kind of light and funny with it. We're not going to be, doing any kind of rocket science type stuff, but don't feel the need to also respond incredibly quickly as well. So we'll start with this: favorite baseball player.
Oh boy. I would say David Ortiz. I know he's not playing anymore, but he's had some big memories in my childhood, hitting home runs, crucial home runs, and he was a big figure during my childhood. So definitely David Ortiz.
Okay, great choice. Next question: favorite hockey moment? Is there one number one highlight moment for you?
I would say representing the United States on different occasions, but I think it's just a different feeling putting on the USA jersey. You're representing your country, and your play is representing, people are watching you, and I think it's just a special feeling to put on the jersey and just represent your country.
Cool. Okay, this next one is a little bit of a different one. Favorite exercise?
I would say bench press. I mean,
bench press.
Just
great choice.
The chest going. Obviously I don't lift the most weight, but I just tell myself, I'm just going to be looking great at the beach after this and just mess around with it. But yeah, I think I enjoy it. It's a simple exercise and a common one, but I think it does a lot for your body.
Okay, I like it. So far we've had a couple tallies for squat, and then now you're the first one for bench press. So we got you on the board with that one right off the bat. So this next one, if you weren't playing hockey, you would be playing what sport?
I would say baseball.
Baseball?
Yeah, definitely. hockey and baseball were my final two sports. So I think I would stick with baseball. It's a good team game, and I had a lot of fun playing it and a lot of memories. So I definitely would continue playing if hockey weren't a thing.
Okay. Okay. So this next one a little different. So you just, you've won a game at BU. Where are you going by campus for a pregame or a postgame meal?
Oh boy. I'm not sure. There's some good Italian restaurants that are tough to choose. Maybe the North End for a nice chicken parm or something like that. Grandparents are Italian and make good Italian food, so and maybe stop for a cannoli in the North End at Mike's Pastries.
Oh, hey, you cannot be. I've been to Mike's Pastries probably too many times to count. More times than I'd like to admit. So I think the North End is a strong choice.
Yes, yeah, it's a good area. I love going there every time.
For sure. So final question. This is something we like to ask all of our guests who come on the podcast. Obviously, we're all about building strength. We're all about making stronger people. What's the thing for you that gives you strength?
I would say my family. They sacrificed a ton for me. And I think just this is my way of giving back to them. And hopefully I can go as far as I can and kind of help them out in the future just to show my appreciation for what they've done. I wouldn't be here without them. So yeah, my family definitely gives me strength. And every time I'm struggling and stuff, I kind of look to them as well. And they sacrificed a ton, did some things. They had to give up some stuff that obviously they loved in order to take me to practices and stuff like that or pay for hockey. So definitely, yeah, my family gives me a ton of strength.
That's an incredible answer and a great way to close out the podcast. So Cade, we can't thank you enough, man, for coming on here, for talking with us, for talking a little hockey, talking a little baseball, talking a little Mike's Pastry, which I feel like are always three good things to talk about. So we're really grateful to have you on, and we're definitely going to be looking out for you on the ice this hockey season with BU, and obviously want to wish you just the best of luck this upcoming season. And we're looking forward to seeing you out there, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Definitely look forward to keeping in touch in the future, and hopefully this fall the pandemic doesn't get in the way. But I'm definitely looking forward to it, and we'll talk soon.